हो गए. A warm and graceful afternoon to all respected guests, members of NTC 2020, participants, and my fellow members. As an organizing director on behalf of NADCL and Baramulla, Jammu and Kashmir and Agro Environmental Development Society, Rampur, I, Dr. Ratna Nashine, welcome you all to NTC 2020 virtual platform. As the curtain are drawn towards closing of 21 days training program, preparing and management of result-oriented research projects in agriculture, horticulture, and allied sectors, I am here before you to introduce the guest. We today got with us a gracious present of Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Deshbir Singh Sir, Director ICR.
Ma'am, you are muted yourself. Ma'am, accidentally muted.
Dr. N.S. Rathore Sir, who is going to join after some time. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Maharana Pratap University of Agriculture and Technology, Udaipur, Rajasthan, who is also Chief Patron of this training program and President of today's function. We have got a special guest, Dr. D.K. Yadav Sir, ADG Seeds and Patron with us today as a special guest. Respected Dr. Mahesh Pratap Thakur Sir, Director Instructions, Indira Gandhi Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, Raipur, Chhattisgarh, is guest of honor and is on this platform. We also have Dr. B.K. Yadav, who is going to join with us in few seconds. Director Sugarcane Breeding Institute is also with us as a guest of honor for this function. Sir, before proceeding further, I want to offer floral words to Goddess Saraswati, the Vidya Devi, to seek her blessings and to light our paths in future. हे वीणा वादिनी माँ, हम सबको वर दो, भर दो सबकी झोली, ऐसा ज्ञान दो, शिक्षा की ज्योति जलाए, अनपढ़ को भी गले लगाए, शिक्षा की फूले फुलवारी, यह रहे कृपा तुम्हारी, जो सोए हैं उन्हें जगाए, जन सेवा की भक्ति पाए, देश की सेवा करे काम, ऐसी कामना हमारी, हाथ जोड़कर करते हैं वंदना तुम्हारी, हाथ जोड़कर करते हैं वंदना तुम्हारी. After seeking floral blessings of Ma Saraswati, I am presenting brief report of NTC 2020, which was organized under the umbrella of NADCL and ADS Uttar Pradesh. The 21 days training program is first of its kind as a virtual training with registration of 300 participants. My teammates, course convener, Dr. Dinesh Lokhande, Professor and Head Department of Surgery and Radiology, Dr. Girish Udhavrao Yadav, Assistant Professor, Department of Surgery and Radiology, Mumbai Veterinary College, Maharashtra, Animal and Fisheries Science University, Nagpur, was also co-course convener. Course coordinators with us was Dr. Ram Prasad Nagarao Khandare Sir, Assistant Professor, ECRIP on LTFE, Vasantrao Nayak Marathwada Krishi Vidyapit, Parbhani. Dr. Manjunatha DR, Assistant Professor, Head Department of Veterinary Clinical Complex, Veterinary College, Hassan, Karnataka, from Karnataka Veterinary Animal and Fisheries University, Bidar, Karnataka. Mrs. Sheetal Yadav, PCTE, Prahar University, Udaipur. Training Coordinator, Dr. R.A. Shah, Associate Professor, Division of Landscaping, Baramulla, University of Jammu and Kashmir, was coordinating between NTC 2020 and NADCL Baramulla. Technical team, our technical team played vital role to connect the speakers and were operating from Srinagar, Mr. Majid and Mrs. Jannat. Behind the curtain, Dr. Ved Prakash Yadav, Assistant Professor, Plant Breedings, College of Agriculture, Baser, SKN University, Rajasthan, designed the brochure of our NTC 2020. And myself, Dr. Ratna Nashine, Dean College of Agriculture and Research Station, Narayanpur, under IGKV Raipur, Chhattisgarh, was in the most remote area and coordinated for 21 days between the speakers and participants to go session smoothly from 26th May 2020 to 15th June 2020. Distance was too much, but we were too near in COVID-19 lockdown, managed with the technology to make it successful event and to give benefit to our fraternity. We all members were connecting on conference in the night at 9:30 p.m. daily to evaluate the session and the next day planning. Almost all the sessions were attended by all our team members. Our participants are from all over the country, covering Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Nagaland to Gujarat, and Jammu and Kashmir to Kerala, Tamil Nadu. Of course, all the states and almost all agriculture universities, central universities, and all participants from traditional universities were also with us. We had participants from African country, Nigeria also. Participants are from assistant professor, associate professor, professor, KVK, SMS, program assistant, training assistant, PhD scholar, MSc students, and personals from NGOs. Total participant number was 300. We arranged speakers from all the faculty. Speakers from NAM, Dr. Senthil spoke on the project appraisal and also on competency enhancement for digital teaching. Dr. Mahendra Singh, FAO Fellow and Principal Scientist and Head of Animal Physiology, enlightened with how to formulate viable research project in animal science. Rhizobacterial preparation boom for chemical-free farming was delivered by Dr. R.Z. Said, Head of the Department Microbiology, SHG College, Jalna, Maharashtra. Jalgaon, Maharashtra. Dr. M.B. Thakur, Director Instructions, Controller of Examination, IGKV Raipur, focused on preparation and management of result-oriented research project on mushroom cultivation. Dr. Bipul Das, Dean Faculty of Fisheries, University of Animal and Fisheries Science, Kolkata, delivered 3 lectures on preparation of result-oriented projects in aquaculture, monitoring and evaluation of projects in aquaculture, management of aquaculture projects. Speakers from ICR institutes were also invited, and Dr. Javed Mir delivered the lecture on project designing in temperate fruits. He is the senior scientist, ICR, Central Institute of Temperate Horticulture, Srinagar. Dr. Shiraj Salim Bhatt, a scientist, ICAR, Indian Grassland and Fodder Research Institute, Regional Research Station, Rangrahe, Srinagar and Jammu and Kashmir, has also delivered the lecture. Dr. Pankaj Sharma, Principal Scientist and in charge, ICAR Directorate of Rapeseed and Mustard Research, Bharatpur, covered topic project priority setting, monitoring and evaluation of agricultural research projects. Dr. C.S. Praharaj, Indian Institute of Pulse Research, Kanpur, told about scaling IUE through technological interventions in pulses while enduring COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Sushil Ahmed from ICAR, Indian Grassland and Fodder Research Institute, Regional Research Station, Srinagar, spoke on hortipastoral system for diversification and orchard floor management. Dr. J.S. Singh, ex-director, Rajasthan Agriculture Research Institute, thrown light on participatory projects of chickpea production. We had speaker from KVK, senior scientist and head Dr. KVK Dholpur, Dr. Nawab Singh, delivered lecture on evaluation of research-oriented extension project and also stating successful stories and case studies of extension research projects. Speakers were invited from Indian-based international companies also, power of thoughts, and also second session was influencer of project management. Both talks were delivered by Shri P.B. Wangikar, Director and Chief Executive Officer, Pardo Private Limited, Pune. We has managing collaborations, whereas managing collaborations in research project by Dr. Giridhar Patankar, partner of Just Bespoke Advisory, Pune. He also emphasized on risk management in research project. State Department of Animal Husbandry, Kashmir, Dr. Sayyid Istishim Hussain delivered lecture on ultrasonography in animals' need of research. Speakers from sociology and psychological area also were here. Dr. Smita Chaure emphasized on stress and anger management in project management and also focused on importance of emotional quotient in project. She is a psychiatrist and counselor based in Pune. Dr. Sushil Dhanawde, hypnotherapist and life coach, focused on stress management in project handling. And second session was on practical exercise of stress management. And today he is with us on the platform. Our team of NTC 2020 delivered lecture, Dr. Manjunatha, innovative ideas in animal husbandry to improve economic status in rural area, and ultrasonography in large animals, practice need for research project. Dr. Dinesh Lokhande, preparation on submission of research projects to RKVY, use of endoscopy in veterinary practices. Dr. Khandare, preparation and submission of research projects to ICR, DBT, state government for implementation of new agricultural technologies. Dr. Girish Yadav, preparation of and submission of research projects to various private companies, private agencies, writing results of research projects, formulation, implementation, and outcome of agencies' research project. Practical experiences was also covered by him. Myself, Dr. Ratna Nashine, funding agencies of different projects. 220 agencies were covered with their objectives, contact address, and area of support. Success stories of project of field experiences was also covered by me. Last but not least, Dr. Vivian Thomas, retired assistant professor, MPKV Rahouri. He delivered lecture on importance of communication in project handling, and he also covered the projects to be submitted in arts and literature faculty on instruction technology and media technology. In all, 44 lectures were covered, and all the topics that covered in relevant field, they were simply fantastic, marvelous, and resourceful to the present generation. Their vast experience will go along with for development of future generation. In first 2 weeks, we have the 2 sessions were taken, and for the third week, we have got 3 sessions were conducted every day. We are thankful to our speakers who gave guidance and time for making this program successful event. Assignments were given to the participants for project formulation in their respective field, and happy to tell that most of our participants had submitted the assignments in 2 to 5 numbers. Almost half of the participants had responded and made efforts to formulate the project. We also uploaded lectures of NTC 2020 on Kashmir Hunt YouTube channel for future responses references for the participants. And this is all about our NTC 2020 event. So thank you very much. And now I invite Sanjay Hoval, PhD scholar from NDRI Karnal, to present his comment on 21 days NTC 2020 from the participant side.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Is it audible? Is it audible, everybody? Okay. First of all, very good afternoon to all of you in this national training course valedictory function. First of all, we have with us respected president of this today's function. He might be still not joined, but he will join. Dr. N.S. Rathore sir, Honorable former DDG Education ICR and present Vice Chancellor of Maharana Pratap University of Agriculture and Technology, Udaipur, Rajasthan. We have also with respected chief guest, Dr. Deshbir Singh sir, Honorable Director ICR Central Institute of Temperate and Horticulture, Srinagar. We have also a special guest, Dr. D.K. Yadav sir, Honorable ADG SEED, ICR New Delhi. We have guest of honor, Professor MP Thakur sir, Honorable Director of Instruction and Control of Examination, Indira Gandhi Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, Raipur, and also Dr. Bakshi Ram sir, Honorable Director ICR Sugarcane Breeding Institute, Coimbatore. And the most important name I would like to express here, because of her, we all are connected to each other, and because of her team. The Dr. Ratna Nashine ma'am, Honorable Organizing Director of this training program, and Professor and Dean College of Agriculture and Research Station, Narayanpur Indira Gandhi, Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, Raipur, Chhattisgarh, and here all participants belonging to different parts of India and abroad. Today, on an occasion of this valedictory function, on behalf of all participants, I would like to express my few words regarding this valedictory function and about this training program, which was started on 26th of May, and today is the closing date of this training program. Really, I am very happy, and we all are very happy and proud of that organizing team, that we learned a lot of things during this entire 20 days program, like one unique feature in this training program: unity in diversity. Unity in diversity in terms of education, in terms of research, in terms of different sectors like agriculture, like horticulture, like animal husbandry, and allied sectors. And also, we seen the unity and diversity in terms of the connectivity of the peoples belongs from different parts of the India. Really, I would like to special thanks to organizing team that they try to involve such a great speakers, very enthusiastic and potential speakers, which were expertised in their respective field. The unique feature we seen that there was a total one cycle is completed during this 21 training program. Really, let me elaborate some few points what we took the home message from this 21 days training program, which is a very important. Now, when we see the diversity of the participants, some are the PhD scholars, research scholars, some are master scholars, some are research persons here, some are the other NGOs also. So when we see the unique feature, this organization or this platform try to involve all these peoples under one umbrella. So what we take the home message, really that organization try to arrange some success stories on projects, some field experiences. We also learn how to prepare and submission of the research project to RKVY. We also use what is the use of endoscopy, how to use that, what are the veterinary practices regarding this, what is the importance of ultrasonography, how it is used in large animals, what are the pros and cons regarding this. We also took the home message, we also enlightened that how to prepare and management of the result-oriented research project in agriculture, horticulture, animal husbandry, and allied sectors. Really, one more thing that rhizobacterial preparation and it's a use of the use in chemical-free farming, which is a today's need. When we talk about the sustainable development, whatever the topics they covered, it's a result-oriented as well as sustainable development-oriented, and also related to human resources development, which was very fruitful. I also mentioned some few points like we learned the innovative ideas and their role in animal husbandry and to improve the economic status of rural India. Another thing I would like to mention that what we took the home message, that is participatory project of chickpea, as ma'am told us to everybody. Also biofortification of agriculture, nursery management, and in vegetables. Also another unique feature of this, that rather than this everybody is going to do the research, everybody going to implement the research project, but most important factor is that sociology and psychological aspect. And another thing is the trace. Always there is a trace to do any function or any work. So how to manage that trace? Such type of the lectures organized by the organizing committee, and also funding agency for different projects, which is conducted by our honorable organizing director. So really, so hello, is it audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Once again, I would like to say thanks to all the organizing team, technical support, like Dr. Course Convener, Dr. Dinesh Lokande sir, Dr. Yadav sir, most important thing, it's a very good thing that we observed that how to work in team. Okay, whenever our team is very strong, then any difficult things, it can be resolved, it can be conducted smoothly. Thanks to Majid Nasar sir. Really, on behalf of all participants, I would like to thank to you. Because of you, we reconnected, even though in disconnecting mode. Okay, so thank you very much. I would like to say thank to all participants that in any big association, any big function, there are certain technical problems everywhere. So despite of that, the most appreciable thing is that The team was very good, and he resolved the problem as possible as earlier. So once and again, I would like to say thanks to all the organizers, all delegates, all participants. अंत में बस एक ही कुछ पंक्तियां बोलूंगा सबके लिए कि कुछ लोग जिंदगी में आते हैं कुछ पल के लिए, कुछ लोग जिंदगी में आते कुछ पल के लिए, हंसा देते कुछ पल के लिए, सिखा देते हैं लेसन ऐसे परमानेंट लाइफ के लिए, और हजारों के दिलों में घर कर जाते हैं हमेशा के लिए. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you very much, Sanjay Hoval, for your word of appreciations and kind appreciation. Now I request Dr. Ajit William, Scientist, Forestry, Barrister Thakur Chedilal, College of Agriculture and Research Station, Indira Gandhi Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, Sarkanda, Bilaspur, to give his comment on NTC 2020 in short from the participant side. मैं दिख रही हूँ क्या? इसमें नहीं दिख रही. I think इसमें नहीं दिख रही. Ajit, unmute yourself. Ajit, unmute yourself. Still, you have not unmuted yourself.
Press the red microphone.
Red microphone. Just tap in the bottom and press.
Hello? Ajit sir, press red microphone. It will unmute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, ma'am. Very good afternoon to one and all. Respected Dr. Deshbir Singh sir, Director ICR, Central Institute of Temperate Horticulture, Srinagar, Chief Guest of the today's function. Respected Dr. N.S. Rathod sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Maharana Pratap University of Agriculture and Technology, Udaipur, Rajasthan, who is presiding the function, guest of honor and special guest of the today's program, respected Dr. M.P. Thakur sir, Director of Instruction and Controller of Examination, Indira Gandhi Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, Raipur, Chhattisgarh, respected Dr. Bakshi Ram sir, Director ICR, Sugarcane Breeding Institute, Coimbatore, and respected Dr. D.K. Yadav sir, ADG, Seed, ICAR, New Delhi. Organizers and all the participants of 21 days training program on preparing and management of result-oriented research projects in agriculture, horticulture, animal husbandry, and allied sectors. As we come to the close of this training program, I feel honored and privileged to get an opportunity to propose concluding remarks on this occasion on behalf of all the participants, to all who have helped make this event such a grand success. The 21-day training program was organized in well-mannered with solid plan by the organizers. The objects, what we kept in mind to attend training has been fulfilled. Most importantly, we learned scientific and systematic studies on preparing and management of result-oriented research projects in agriculture, horticulture, animal husbandry, and allied science, which definitely going to strengthen our efficacy and efficiency for conducting research on the thrust area which was focused in the training. The other aspects covered on training are also helpful for us to conduct research on the similar aspect in future. At the end, we could like to thank to Dr. R.S. Shah, Training Coordinator, NADCL, Baramulla, Jammu and Kashmir, who have selected us to be one of the participants of this training, and to the organizing director, respected Dr. Ratna Nashine ma'am, Professor and Dean, College of Agriculture and Research Station, Indira Gandhi Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, Narayanpur, Chhattisgarh, who has been very supportive for this training program and has provided valuable contribution in making this training a grand success. In all the course directors, co-conveners, course director, course coordinators who have been very cordial and cooperative towards the participants to conduct the virtual lecture in most efficient manner. I wish to thank Dr. Majid Nisar sir and Jannat madam and all the members of technical team who has always been great support behind such event. I would like to express my sincere thanks to all the dedicated organizers who have worked very hard to make this training program a reality today. I congratulate you on the success of the program, which has been well organized, well balanced, and had a very important agenda during COVID-19 situation. The speakers were all highly respected professionals and the debate was dynamic. I believe that this opinion is shared by most of the participants. I wish you and your team further achievement and hope for continued cooperation. Once again, thanks a lot. Above all, I thank all the participants from different parts of the country and abroad, as your participation has made this training program a successful event. At last, I would like to place my gratitude to the organizers for giving me an opportunity to present my feedback about the training program. Thank you once again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Ajit Williams, for your kind words. And I can sum up you in like that. सोच ये ना रखे कि मुझे रास्ता अच्छा मिले, ये सोच रखे कि मैं जहाँ पाँव रखूँ वो रास्ता अच्छा हो जाए, क्योंकि जो अपने कदमों की काबिलियत पर विश्वास रखते हैं, वही अक्सर मंजिलों की ओर पहुँचते हैं. Dhanyavad, and thank you very much, Ajit, for your kind words and appreciation. Now I call upon the speakers, Shri Sushil Dattatreya Dhanawade, in hypnotherapist and life coach, to give us remarks for the NTC 2020.
Okay, thank you so much, Ratna madam. Thank you so much to you first of all, because you invited and you coordinated for that. So, see, I was not aware of all those things because I was thinking it's just a lecture and you are just communicating with all those people. Then I visited the way YouTube and I watched most of the lectures, I think. So I got connected to the agriculture because I told that I was supposed to get admitted in animal husbandry. Then I went to agriculture, and because of you all, I got connected to you people again. And the participation was fantastic. First of all, let me thanks to Dr. Majid sir, because the coordination was superb. His patience was superb because so many disturbances were there, so many people are coming inside, but the way he was coordinating was phenomenal. And thank you so much for each and every participant because they participated with proper way. The way I was instruction, I thought all those people are scientists, PhD people, and say how they will follow my instruction about the hypnosis instruction or the visualization. But they were saying like they were all learners and they were receptive in such a way that they want to learn each and everything. So the presentations and everything was really great. And thank you so much for to chief guest, to guest of honors, to listening to me. And thanks again for inviting me. Thanks again for connecting to almost half of the India. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sushil sir, and for your kind feedback. I'm very thankful that you have accepted the invitation for giving the lecture in our NTC 2020. Thank you. Now I request Dr. M.P. Thakur sir, Director Instructions and Controller of Examination, IGKV Raipur, to give his valuable blessings as speakers and guest of honor, with the request to cover current researchable issues for participants. Sir, please cover researchable issues also. But before that, I want to introduce Dr. Thakur sir. He is graduated and post-graduated in plant pathology in agriculture with honors and doctorate from Jawaharlal Nehru Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, Jabalpur. Served as a Director Extension Services, Founder Dean at SK Cars, Kavardha, and SK Cars, Rajnandgaon. professor and head plant pathology twice, and serving as a director, instructions and controller of examination. Elected as a national president of Indian Phytopathological Society, New Delhi, and successfully organized 7th international conferences at ICAR, IAR, New Delhi from 16th to 20th January 2020. Visiting fellow of Shanghai Academy of Agricultural Sciences, Shanghai, China. Visiting fellow of ICRISAT at Patancheru. As a member, RAC of ICAR Directorate of Mushroom Research, Solan, from 2013 to 2016. As member, Institute Management Committee, National Institute for Biostress Management, Baronda, Raipur, nominated by Minister of State for Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India, from 2020 to 2023. Recipient of K.C. Mehta and Manoranjan Mitra Award, 2019. Professor P.R. Verma Memorial Lecture Award, 2018. 3 Lifetime Achievements Award, 1 during International Conference at Management Development Institute of Singapore, All India Above and Beyond Award, 2018, Birja Gopal Sharma Memorial All India Best Agriculture Extension Worker Award, 2016 by Sadhana Solan, Himachal Pradesh, Best Worker Award by IGKV Raipur in 2001, as a sectional editor mycology and member editorial board of Indian Phytopath, editor in journal, Chief of Journal of Agricultural Issues, published 8 books, edited 8 books, annual reports, 14 book chapters, 122 research papers and articles in his credit, 5 review articles, 51 bulletins, 81 popular articles, guided 38 PG and PhD theses, presented 115 research papers as a keynote speaker, a guest lecturer in national and international seminars, honorary fellow of Indian Mycological Society, Kolkata in 2020, fellow of Indian Society of Mycology and Plant Pathology, Udaipur, fellow of Indian Society of Pulse Research and Development, Kanpur. And this is all brief about the sir, and he is an excellent personality. Now I hand over the mic to Dr. MP Thakur, sir. Sir, unmute yourself, sir, please.
Is it okay?
Yeah, audible.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, Madam Ratna Nashine. Now, Honorable Chief Guest of the today's valedictory function, Dr. Deeshbet Singh Sahab, who is the Director of ICR, Central Institute of Horticulture Research, located at Srinagar, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, MPAUT Udaipur, and the former Director, former DGG Education, ICAR, who is presiding over the function, and the guest of honor, Dr. Yadav, who is the Assistant Director General Seed, Dr. Baksiram Sahab, who is the Director of ICR Sugarcane Breeding Institute, all the Dr. Ratna Nashine, all the participants who have joined for this 21-day national training course in Baramulla, Srinagar, which is the fantastic place in the country. I thank you all. Now, as requested by the organizer, I have to speak something on the researchable issues. Now, first of all, let me thank the organizer, especially the NADCL, who has taken the lead to organize this 21-day program on the preparation and the management of the result-oriented research project, not only in agriculture, but in horticulture, in live husbandry, in animal husbandry, and even allied sector. They have covered, I think, in 21 days, as just now narrated by Dr. Ratna, they have covered 40 speakers, 40 lectures in 21-day training program and 300 participants. I haven't seen such a big participation as far as 21-day summer course is concerned by ICR. another point which I would like to appreciate the organization, that I haven't seen such a topic where the lectures for 40 speakers were given or were imparted, and I haven't seen such a program where these absolutely the lectures on simply lectures on preparation and management of result oriented research projects were organized. I really compliment, and it was wonderful to see the whole program. Now coming to the issues, I have already delivered one of my talk as far as the preparation of the project in Mushroom is concerned, but I see the gathering is huge. It is a very heterogeneous mass, we can say. There are postgraduate students, there are assistant professors, there are young budding scientists, and it is very difficult to communicate with them. It is very difficult to interact with them because they are not from one area. They are from so many areas. But really, while discussing and while presenting my speech, I could realize that they have a lot of enthusiasm. They have a lot of patience. They were very eager to know the things. And when I delivered the talk, at the end of the talk, normally you may find one or two questions, which I tell you, if Majid Saab has not stopped, I think the discussion might have gone for 2 hours. So that indicates the kind of response the trainees have. So I really compliment them. I appreciate them. Now coming to the researchable issues, you see, it's a very big topic, and I think it will be very, very difficult for me to elaborate or to justify or to explain or to share that what can be the emerging issues, what can be the researchable areas, maybe in field of agriculture or in horticulture or in animal husbandry or maybe other allied sector. But only some of the areas which I feel, I may be wrong, some of the areas where I think these postgraduate students, they should concentrate on those particular areas. I'm going to focus some of the issues. Say if I talk agriculture, I'm basically a plant pathologist, I'm basically an agriculture scientist. Now if I see agriculture in toto, then I see that nowadays people have been talking a lot about resource conservation technology. They're talking a lot. One of the participants, Mr. Sanjay, he has already told that now it is the era for the organic farming, chemical-free farming, chemical-less farming. So I think if you see in agriculture, these are the 2 highly potential areas where I think my students or postgraduate scholars, they must concentrate. So if you talk of resource conservation technology, I think the Directorate of Wheat Science, they have demonstrated this technology in a large scale. And in many parts of the country now, this technology is picking up very well. But I feel, from my own experience, I feel that some of the areas which must be touched by the research-oriented people or for the research project, for preparation of the research project or for formulation of the research project can be like this: the development of structured mechanism for tracking the adoption and mainstreaming database on resource conservation technologies in different crops. There may be different cropping system, there may be different ecologies, there may be different regions. So the resource conservation technology, how it can be, I think still we need a lot of data. We need to generate a lot of data in this particular aspect. Then studies on conservation agriculture, influencing soil biology and pest dynamics. I tell you, the ill effect of pesticide has been taught. It has been, everybody of us knows very well about it. But what kind of changes it is going to bring to the environment, especially the soil biology, and especially the influence of these pesticide on the pest dynamics. It may be a disease, it may be a pathogen, it may be a pest, it may be a weed, or it may be other thing. So I think the studies on conservation agriculture, influencing particularly the soil biology and the pest dynamics, it needs to be worked out by submitting the project to the funding agency. Then creation of mass awareness on conservation agriculture technologies and demonstration of their benefits through a common platform of learning and knowledge sharing. I think these can be the ideal projects which can be submitted to the funding agency. Then drought is becoming a very recurrent feature almost every year. You can see mitigating severe droughts conditions through participatory integrated water management or through participatory watershed management for in situ conservation of the rainwater, recharging of duck wells, renovation and repairs of tanks, digging of farm ponds and open wells. I think these can be the areas where one should look into. Sustenance of soil productivity through conservation agriculture involving modern techniques of tillage, seeding and integrated nutrient management. I think these are the areas in particularly resource conservation technology which can be addressed by all my young researchers so that they may get the funding from the different sources. Development of water resources for irrigation by understanding climatic, hydrologic and the geomorphological and water soil water processes in the area specific context. If you submit the project, the chances of getting the project are very, very high. Then other area can be integrated farming system. You all know very well the Honorable Prime Minister of India, he's all the time, he's emphasizing on integrated farming system. I tell you, I am from IJKV, our Kakir area, they have developed, they have standardized more than 300 IFS under varying conditions. So in my opinion, the integrated farming system where the Honorable Prime Minister is always talking, whatever the land you have, you divide it into 3 parts. 33% should go to agriculture, 33% should go to horticulture, and rest 33% go to either animal husbandry or to any of the allied sector. So I think you have to standardize an IFS model for your own area, for your own region, because the model which has been standardized maybe in Chhattisgarh, I think it may not work in other parts of the country. So standardization of area specific integrated farming system model involving agriculture, involving horticulture, livestock and allied enterprises. The blending of 3 or 4 activities may be there. What can be those activities? I think this needs a thorough research program. Then analysis of this IFS model. Some work has been already done, but I don't find the economic viability of the IFS model. So I think that needs to be addressed. Then bioencapsulation. Again, Mr. Sanjay was talking about that bioencapsulation of integrated plant production and protection measures for smart delivery under natural farming system. My dear friends, I would like to inform the house that in Chhattisgarh only there is one big project called SRT Agroscience, and that is the only fellow in the country. He is formulating all the bioagents, biopesticide, nutrients, micronutrients, major nutrients in the capsule form. And I think the bioencapsulation, maybe of fungicides, biofungicides, maybe of nutrients, maybe of minor elements, maybe of major elements, maybe of consortia of several microbes, which may help to the health of the crops, and it may also protect the crop. I think the need of the hour is to a bioencapsulation of these integrated plant production and protection measures for a smart delivery system. This is very, very important. Then PRA-based survey of soil type and cadastral map of village using GPS technology. This is also the need of the hour. Development of suitable machine. I think Professor N.S. Rathore Sahab, who is the president of today's function, I think he is going to cover in detail the research on drip irrigation. Now, drip irrigation, a lot of work has been done on plantation crops, on horticultural crops, on other crops. But I think there is still a need to work on drip irrigation, especially in the cereal crops. You can talk of the sugarcane, you can talk of even paddy. There are farmers in Chhattisgarh who are taking paddy, summer paddy with the help of micro irrigation. So can we think of use of micro irrigation in chickpea? Can we think of micro irrigation in mustard? Can we think of micro irrigation in sugarcane or other field crops? Maybe vegetable, maybe your this pulse crops, maybe oilseed crops, maybe cereal crop. I think again this needs to be worked a lot. Then if you come to horticulture, identification of the land races of indigenous and drought tolerant fruit trees with the possibility of enhancing their productivity and value addition by top working. I think horticulture is doing a lot. If you look at in total GDP of agriculture, horticulture plays 30.6% is the role played by horticulture. Out of, we are producing 315 million tons of horticultural produce from only 25 million tons of 25 million hectares of land. Imagine, we are producing 117 million tons of paddy from 44 million hectare of paddy. So see the role of horticulture per unit area of time. The production is wonderful, and I tell you the output, the total output in horticultural crops, it is about 4.5 times more than agriculture, and this is the reason why the Honorable Prime Minister is now promoting a lot. Then promotion of secondary agriculture. It is the need of the hour. I was just going to the literature. If you see the preservation of fruits and vegetables in India, it is hardly 2.5%. Our 35% of the produce, that too from the fruit crops, vegetable crops, it is going waste. My dear friends, my dear students, Government of India is talking a lot to increase this percent from 2.5% to maybe 10 or 15%, because our processing, we are very, very poor in processing. So my humble suggestion to all the youngsters would be that they must think of submitting the research project, especially in the food processing of fruits and vegetables. Then establishing of medium and high density fruit orchard with the intercropping of high value vegetables for improving the productivity and the rapid economic returns per unit area. Development of agri-horti model for sustainable livelihood of the marginal and small farmers. Then again, the identification of plant type, varieties, layout, high and low density plantation of marginal for the marginal as well as for the small farmers. This is the need of the hour. 85% of the farmers in country, they are small and marginal, and we are mainly targeting our research program for the majority of the big people, big farmers. Then agriculture engineering, I'm not going to touch upon because the Honorable Vice Chancellor of MPOET is already, he has already joined, and he will be definitely, but only one point I would like to share, sir, with your permission: promotion and strengthening of mechanization and custom hiring services in the pattern of Ola or Uber or Meru. I think the custom hiring services or the mechanization, if you do in this way, especially for the small and marginal farmers, to establish second crop, conservation horticulture, and chemical less or chemical free farming, that will be the wonderful contribution by the researcher to the small and marginal farmer. Then fabrication of suitable implements of soybean pigeon pea intercropping. It is very popular in Madhya Pradesh, it is very popular in Maharashtra, it is very popular in Chhattisgarh. Fabrication of lightweight seed cum fertilizer drill for vertisols. These are the points which I am leaving upon with the Honorable Vice Chancellor. Then if you see animal husbandry, I am not a person of animal husbandry, but this is just a wild idea to the researcher. Studies on ornamental fish breeding. I think in urban area, we find these colored fishes, but these colored fishes, they die during the transit. They are not able to store them properly. So I think at local level, maybe in Krishi Vigyan Kendras, maybe in research station, maybe if you go on taking aspects, especially on studies on the ornamental fish breeding, then I think you are definitely bound to get the project. Then biofloc technology of fish production. This is the wonderful technology. I tell you, in my university, Krishi Vigyan Kendra Raipur is imparting training program, and you will wonder to know that people from Bangladesh, they are coming. We are charging 5,000 rupees for 4-day training program, and I tell you, sir, the entrepreneurs, they are fond of getting the knowledge of biofloc technology of fish production. So I would urge my colleagues, I would urge my young generation to kindly give thoughts on preparing this kind of project. Genetic improvement and conservation of indigenous livestock and poultry genetic resources, biosecurity and biosafety for livestock and poultry farming, aquaculture. These are the areas which can be focused on. And finally, the last one is streamlining the role of research and extension scientists in dissemination of technology to improve the socio-economic condition of the farmer. This is the final message which I want to pass on to Madam who is from the home science, and to the person who are from the economics, the person who are from the agriculture statistics, the person who are from the social science. I think the need of the hour is we must submit the project which can enhance the socio-economic condition of the people. Because I find as a researcher, I can design a very good project, but I never see what will be the impact of that project on the socio-economic condition of the farming community. And there we failed. I tell you, friends, 15 to 20% of the project, I tell you, only the research outcome, 15 to 20% only, it is going to the farming field. Rest 85% is lying in the newspaper, it is lying in the research journal, it is lying with you only, with the researcher only. So the final suggestion of mine would be that please take these research project findings to the end beneficiary for which these projects are designed. And I would again compliment the organizer that they have targeted result-oriented research project. The project will be result-oriented when it covers the mass, when it covers the society. So whenever you plan a project, you must know who are the end users. You will wonder, sir, I am director instruction, I am evaluating, I am going through a number of PhD theses. At the end of the thesis, when I ask a student, what are the outcome of your research? For whom you have worked for 2 years? Tell me. I tell you, sir, they are failed. They do not know who are the stakeholders for which they have devoted. They have spent 2 years. So I think these are the things which needs to be looked into by the researcher, by the young generation, by the young scientists, by the young community who are going to prepare a project. Your project is all right. If your project is all right, I tell you, the funding agencies are waiting for granting the project. Money is not the problem today. It is not at all the problem. The problem is that you have to have the wonderful project which can serve the society, which can be useful to the society, which can be useful to the farmers. I tell you, my dear friends, if you identify two major problems by interacting with the farming community, by interacting or going through the literature, I tell you, if you address only two issues, I tell you, you are going to solve the problem of the community. And the project will definitely be funded to you. At the end, I would like to acknowledge, and I would like to acknowledge my gratitude to the organizer who has given me the responsibility, or who has given me the responsibility to share some of my views as on these researchable issues, and they have given me the opportunity to act as a guest of honor in this 21 day in the validity function of 21 days program. I again would like to acknowledge my gratitude to all the participants, to all the guests, all the chief guests, the guests of honor, all the speakers, and the young scientists, young budding scientists, for whom this program was designed, planned. I again thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for throwing light on researchable issues, which will definitely help our participants to think in the direction to submit the project. Thank you once again, sir. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Bakshiram sir, if he's here, because somebody told me that he's in meeting and he will join in 2 or 3 minutes. Majid sir, Bakshiram sir joined?
Let me check. Not yet, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, he's still in meeting. So actually, he is also known as cane man of India, because he has developed many sugarcane varieties, and it would be our pleasure. It would have been our pleasure if he would have joined with us. See if he joins later on also. So next, I invite. As you know, the seed plays important role in crop production. Seed bridge between the two generations of plant life. Seed is medium for transferring characters from one generation to another. It is basic input in agriculture. It is a wealth to farmer. Today, we have excellent personality from apex body of agriculture, ICR, Dr. D.K. Yadav, ADG, Seeds, and patron of NTC 2020. I request you, sir, to shower blessings on us. I am handing over mic to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much, and good afternoon to all. Honorable President of this session, Dr. N.S. Rathod ji, Vice Chancellor, Udaipur Agriculture University, the Chief Guest of today's function, Dr. Deshbir Singh ji, Director of the Temperate Horticulture Research Institute of ICR, Dr. M.P. Thakur from IGKV Jabalpur, and this coordinator of this program, Dr. Ratna, and her whole team coordinating this program, all the speakers, and the most important, all participants of this program. As very rightly mentioned by Dr. Thakur, that it was a very well thought program, and during the time of COVID, that actually it was an innovation, that by having such a wonderful program with such large gathering of 300 participants, which is, I think, unique in its type, and I think first of its kind, involving so much number of participants in a training program. So the title has been mentioned, that is very relevant, and for the young researchers, mostly the students as well as the scientists who has initiated their career. So this, I think, this conference or this particularly the program, that will be of immense use to all of them. You are all well aware that once you are placed, whether it is the ICR Institute or State Agriculture University or some private organization itself, so you need to have some projects for the sustainability or for your continuity of the work. Generally in the public system also, whatsoever the funding is being given nowadays, that funding is not that much sufficient. So in that case, to start up with your career and to have some cutting edge technology research, in details that Thakur has already mentioned, so I'll not go in those points. So just to, in the start of the career, if a scientist wants to establish himself or herself, so definitely some funding is required. And for that funding, you need to have some very good project, some win-win project, so that you can have some additional funding, some extra funding. And through that funding, you are free for the procurement of many consumables or the equipment components, or even to hire the manpower, the contractual staff. So that for that purpose, definitely a project is required. So generally, we are proposing under the three. One in the private sector. So one is the routine funding from the institute, that we generally call it as the in-house project, and in that project also to have some good outcome. So you definitely need to have a very good project that has to be formulated. The second project is generally the externally funding project, which most of the scientists, they are generally applying to the various funding agencies, like ICR itself is giving the project, CSIR is giving the projects, DBT, DST, and there are so large number of funding agencies which are providing the funds for the project. And third one is the international funding. Generally for that we have to approach some international funding agency, and then we can have some good funding, and through that we can start our career, we can do some good cutting edge research. And for that particularly we need to have a very good project formulated, so that while discussion, while going to the review committee, it is accepted and we are in a position to get a project. Regarding getting the project, we have to take some few points in mind. That number one, you propose a project in the area of your specialization. In general, it is mandatory that once you are proposing a project, your biodata as a PI and the other co-PIs, that is also going with the project. So project, your profile, definitely that will help in accepting or rejecting that project at the review level to the any of the funding agency. So first of all, your strength should be there in that particular area. Number two is the problem which you are taking. The problem which you are taking, that should be acceptable by the public, that should be of general use, and that should have an impact once you have done the work. So it should have an impact in the farming community, particularly if we talk of the agriculture or even animal husbandry, fishery. So all the aspects we are taking here. So in that case, we definitely require a well thought before finalization of the objectives of the project, title of the project, that the outcome which is likely to be from that project, that should be acceptable, that should be practical, and that should be applicable in the general life of the stakeholders. And number three is that while proceeding the project, we should, if some output or some product development is not there, so at least the project should be in such a way that we are doing some very basic research. That particular outcome out of that can be utilized many of the researchers through a peer-reviewed publication in some of the very good journals. So these are some of the points I think my colleagues, then you people who are now the participants, they should think over it. Generally, we see in the ICR, generally one of the early career that scheme is there of the DST. And in IRI, I see most of my young colleagues, young scientists, they are having one such a type of project. So that is only the strength of their work which they have done there during MSc and PhD, and some good publication in the area of the project where you are proposing that for the funding. Then the few of the points which we need to have put in the project, that the timeline which we are proposing, that should be in a way that should be achievable. Sometimes in enthusiasm, we are putting few of the points which are not even that achievable. So in that sense also, once by any way we are getting the project and if we are not able to meet its objectives within the timeline, then that again it gives a bad name to the PI as well as the bad name to the institute from where this project has been sponsored. Then nowadays the funding agencies, they are fixing the accountability also to the, because they are giving the huge funding, and once you are giving the funding, then definitely they need some outcome, so that comes in their achievement also to the achievements of the funding agency also. So in that way, many times the agencies are now putting the accountability clause also, and in that case, if you are not coming to their requirement or expectations, then definitely in future it will be very, very difficult for you to have the funding from other sources. Then the output of the project. Generally, we see that already we give the outcome of the project. So the output of the projects, that whatsoever the deliverables we are getting, that should be well thought before submitting the project, and that should be of practical use for the researchers, for the any of the stakeholders, maybe the farmers, maybe the growers, or maybe the private seed industry, or in case of basic research, to the various research scholars. So that we should take care. And then ultimately the outcome of the project, generally we see that whatsoever the output is there, so definitely that should be applicable, and there should be some outcome out of that, so that people can have the advantage of that particular outcome of that project, wherein huge funding we have spent. And finally, the publication out of the project. Generally, we see that publications play a very significant role in the career of any of the researchers. So definitely, when you are proposing a project, so you should think while giving the objectives, that yes, I am giving 3 objectives, so at least I should have the 3 peer-reviewed publications out of that. So that will always be in your career, and the basic information which you have generated, that will become a history, and all the researchers in the times to come, they will be referring that particular invention through that publication. So these are some of the points I think to the young researchers, to the young scientists, that while proposing any project in any of the areas, that may be the crop improvement, that may be the horticulture sciences or animal sciences or natural resource management, I think these are some of the basic things which, while proposing a project, a researcher should take care. So with these words, I has been a very good program, has been told that almost 35, 36 lectures were there across the disciplines, all the disciplines, including the all subject matter divisions of ICR, they have been taken care of. And the number of participants also, I think definitely they might have enjoyed this training program, and that will be adding to their career also, and a lot of things they have learned through this. So I wish all the participants who will be taking certificates today a very good luck in their academic career in the times to come. And I'm highly thankful to the organizers, particularly Dr. Ved Prakash, for giving this opportunity to me to interact with all of you. And once again, I thank you all and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. A seed is yesterday's harvest and tomorrow's hope. Same is the research project for the scientists. Thank you, sir, for your motivating words. Certainly, they will help us in the endeavor we will undertake in the future. Thank you very much, sir. It is a matter of great privilege for me to introduce to Dr. Deshbir Singh, sir, Director ICAR, Central Institute of Temperate Horticulture, Srinagar, joined as a director on 7 July 2016. He identified new species of banana and several unexploited tribal fruits from forests of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. He has guided many students for MSc and MPhil program. He has developed and standardized processing technologies which are licensed and commercialized by entrepreneurs. He is having many awards to his credit. He is committed to further strengthen the research and development in the field of temperate horticulture. Sir, I'm requesting you to kindly guide our participants and handing over the mic to you, sir. Sir, kindly unmute.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Good afternoon to everybody. Respected dignitaries, Dr. N.S. Rathorji, former DDG Education, ICR, and Honorable Vice Chancellor, MP UAT Udaipur, and President of the function, the session today's, Professor MP Thakurji, Dr. Bakshiramji, Dr. D.K. Yadav, ADG Seat, ICR, Dr. D.U. Lokhande, Dr. Ratnaji, training coordinators, Dr. Majid Nisarji, Dr. Janatji, chairman and organizers of the program, and all participants, very, very important participants. First of all, congratulations to the organizers and chairman of the forum to coordinate national training course 2020 on preparing and managing result-oriented research projects in agriculture, horticulture, animal husbandry, and allied sectors, which was held during 26th to today, that is 15 June 2020. I once again congratulate all the coordinators and chairmen to organize such a big program in which the participants were from diverse field, that is a part of Baramulla to Arunachal Pradesh, members from universities, college, students, foreign delegates, department and ICR participants. Once again, I appreciate and congratulate the forum to organize such a big gathering and a useful program. The program was very, very useful and technically very sound and well organized, especially during lockdown period, and lot of problems due to COVID-19 pandemic, which they were prevailing and still prevailing. All the lectures and the speeches were well organized and delivered. There were a good number of participants, and the speakers. All speakers were renowned in their subject and very nicely they have delivered. I have attended almost lectures during this session. These lectures were very, very useful, especially when we are struck to arrange the seminars under these circumstances, what they are prevailing these days. Webinars are handy, and if well organized and technically handled, are equally good and to some extent better, since lot of time and resources are saved. And there is no contact and gathering, which was the prerequisite for organizing the program. As far as this project management and projection is required, and to prepare and manage a very good project during this period, it needs to be very focused, very important. As far as formulation of the project is concerned, it is very important that the approach should be very holistic. The role of the leader is very important, that is PI and the team. And it should be very much approaching to the specialization of the subject and the program and the scheme. Leader, team, and other, it needs a very holistic approach. Formulation of the project, there are many factors during these making a project. There is always a risk. Management is required. There is conflict. Positive side of the conflict is to be harvested, exploited. And fund management. While making the project, definitely there will be conflict. There will be questions. Project should be very much having a direction. And very important, fund management. Getting the resource, getting the fund, it is very important. And then utilization of the fund. And then time factor and result factors. Results are very important, because when we are getting fund from outside, it is very important that those funds will be judicially and very systematically utilized, so that any resource, any fund should not get waste. Definitely there will be accountability. So one should be prepared for that result-oriented projects. The project should be economically and socially accepted, and it should match to the need of the farmer, need of the society, what the country needs. There should not be a crazy ideas and crazy introductions in the project, so that in the end, we are nowhere with the results. It should be very well discussed within the teammates. It should be discussed in the team. All the ideas, all the projections of the team worker should be taken into consideration. And in the last, very important is documentation. Documentation should be very clear, very specific, and it should have very good technical program and result oriented. Publication, no doubt the publications are required, because this budding scientists starting the career with a project, the project should not be for the publication's sake. Publication should be for the benefit of the society, benefit of the science community, benefit of the farmer. So these are the very important factors which should be considered while making a project. The project should also take consideration of region, climatic region, area, marketing, and the management of the result findings are very important. As far as project requirement to the prepared and management during this period especially needs to be discussed, they should be focused on very important crops. It can be a field crop, it can be a horticulture crop. It should be a cost benefit to the farmer. I will take the example because I am dealing with a temperate horticulture in the valley. High density plantation in crops is required, especially that of apple, where this yield from the traditional system to high density system has gone from 8 to 10 tons per hectare to 60 to 70 tons per hectare. So particular varieties, particular rootstock, particular training architect is required. So project on temperate crops should be focused on need of the hour. The need of the hour is high density plantation of the crops, especially that of apple crop. As far as objectives of the projects are to be considered, they need to be subject to the climate change, because climate change is one of the factors which are very important, and diversification of the crop is required. Diversification in case of production, diversification in case of product diversification is required. We have to take into the consideration. It can be a crop diversification, it can be a varietal shift, it can be a product and production diversification. They are to be taken into consideration. As far as genetic resources are concerned, genetic resources in terms of field crops and horticulture crops I am discussing, but it can be applicable to all other livestock and other allied genetic resources also. It should include short-term objectives, mid-term objectives, as well as that of long-term conservation of the nature resources. Those are very important. Conservation of short-term, mid-term, and long-term are very important in case of when there is a different biotic and abiotic adverse conditions. Take the example of today's, when the pandemic is there, when there is a flood, when there is a rise in temperature or diverse fluctuations in case of temperature is there, and there is a need to conserve the seed, conserve this planting material, conserve the rootstocks. Yes.
Sir?
Projects and the programs. Projects and the programs should be technically very sound and viable from conditions and economical situations. Our future programs needs to be very strictly to the produce of the quality seed, quality planting material. Planting material should be disease-free. It should not have any virus infection or other diseases. They should be very safe to handle. Our future program needs to be strictly to produce quality seed, planting material, produce and other allied products. Especially today, today's need is to have very sound and scientific post-harvest handling, very good storage, with very much important is that of marketing and returns to the farmers.
Sir?
This venture of agriculture and allied field needs to be profitable and with quite sound nutritional security. Lot of pesticides and fungicides have been banned in the present era. So our aim should be that of organic farming, and we have to give the boost to the immune system, give enough strength and to improve the health conditions. For that, traditional and medicinal plants are very important, since there is great and significant importance in Ayurveda. That is the need of the day to boost the immune system. We need very holistic approach, combination of Ayurveda, combination of medicines, and very much importance in the present day medicinal and Ayurvedic advancement. Significant importance and is required to save the water and go for micronutrient, micro irrigation, vertical gardening, and soilless culture, that of hydroponic, etc. These were the researchable issues which I mentioned here. There can be a lot of other issues also. Let us hope for best out of this training and the meetings. I once again congratulate all the participants, organizers, coordinators to arrange this webinar. Thank you very much. All the best for the future.
Thank you very much, sir, for your guiding words and showering blessings and highlighting the important points for research projects. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you. Now I call upon Dr. N.S. Rathod, sir, to give the his presidential address for this training program. Before that, I would like to introduce him. He joined as a Vice Chancellor of Maharana Pratap University of Agriculture and Technology, Udaipur on 24th August 2019. 38 years of experience, including assignment as Deputy Director General Education, ICR, Founder Vice Chancellor, SKNAU, Job, Deputy Director General Engineering, Dean College of Dairy and Food Science Technology, and he has organized many international trainings and national trainings. He had handled 51 research and development projects. He has developed 6 technologies and commercialized, and he's also imparting consultancies. He attracted 35 crores from ICAR and other agencies for the project and development and experiential learning. He is associated with many of the societies, and he's a member of many of these societies. So, sir, I am handing over to you for your presidential remark.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon to one and all. And thank you very much for giving me this platform. I could see many of our senior colleagues are sitting here. Dr. Thakur, Dr. Desbir Singh ji, Dr. Devendra Yadav, our ADG, and other fellow, even Dr. Ved Prakash Yadav from our place from Rajasthan. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And indeed, this is a good platform to discuss some of the issue. I was listening all of you from 2 o'clock. I have seen that a lot of good information everybody has imparted. I would like to appeal to all our participants that let us see whatever research you are doing as far as the agriculture is concerned. Research output should convert into the business outcome. That should be your first criteria. Perhaps this is the thing which we are missing here. We are doing a lot of research, and in fact the type of research which we are carrying out, it is not being effectively implemented at the village level, and especially our farmer. You must be knowing 90% of farmer is having a land even less than that of a 0.6 and 0.7 hectare. What to talk about precisely the modern or frontier area of agriculture? There are a lot of issues there. So first of all, for everyone, let us decide that what is our need. Our need is that we have got around 49.3% labor force out of 130 or 100, although 137 crore is our population, but effective population 130. Out of this 49.3 means around 65 crore people are their labor, and labor force, they are being migrated because of this COVID. Now situation is that how to motivate them to go back so that they will go back to their original places. It has been surveyed by one of my students and who is working in Delhi University, and he has concluded that around 30% of labor will not return back. That is I don't know what will be our future, but when there will be no labor, then how we will do the exercise. Recently, our one of minister and he made a statement that in case if we will gradually increase, or we will continue in increasing the minimum support price, then it will disturb our economy. And then lot of things has been trapped by social media, and few people have appreciated and few people have definitely they have got a different views on his statement. But here I would like to mention, let us see what type of productivity and what type of production we are in need. What type of profitability we are in need. It is true. If you see last year it was around 45 million hectare land we have used for the purpose of rice, and 116 million tons of rice we could generated. And as a result of this, our average productivity, it is around 2.4 ton per hectare. Now question arises when we are talking about a global productivity which is around 4.2 ton per hectare. And let us forget about China's rice productivity around 4.5 ton per hectare. So likewise, let us see, you should be more critical on this issue. We should not extrapolate our data and say everybody knows that how much land we have utilized for the purpose of a say example wheat production. Although from last many years we were trying our best to cover 100 million tons, and fortunately last year it was 102 million tons, and this year recent year we have crossed 106 million tons. No doubt everybody deserves appreciation, but at what cost? Cost means we have utilized more than 34.5 million hectare land for the production of a 106 million ton of wheat production. Now our overall productivity comes around 3.1 ton per hectare. In case it would have been equivalent to the world average productivity, that is around 4.6 ton per hectare, then we can easily maintain. In case if we are not increasing our minimum support price, even then instead of 3 ton, if you are growing 6 ton, then definitely with a 1,000 rupees per ton of your minimum support price, you will be more comfortable. So basically these all 3P, production, productivity and profitability, you are supposed to keep in mind. And very interesting thing is that you must be knowing, before COVID even, our International Monetary Fund, they have given a very alarming statistics for country like India. They mentioned that we have got a 33% of youth inequity. And if you see that 57% of our population is below 30 years, and they constitute around, you can imagine that 65 crore and more than 65 crore population is there below 30 years. They need a right type of education. You know what is happening. Only 3.9 crore people are there in 1,000 university and 40,000 college. So neither we are providing a right type of education. And as far as the agriculture education is concerned, I am sorry, yesterday again, one of the political men, he has made a comment. So now question arises that what to do and what not to do. We should not repeat the same thing what people are doing at the Western country. I have seen that when artificial intelligence was introduced, everybody was thinking to articulate this AI research, especially for designing a car of a driverless car. Do you really need a driverless car? We should be more specific. As far as the smart agriculture is concerned in our country, I have got a different definition. Smart means it should be specific for our condition. Then a major task is that for most of the things, even our Honorable Nitin Gadkari sir, he mentioned that as far as the soybean is concerned, our productivity is hardly of you can see hardly of 5 to 6 quintal per hectare. Whereas if you go to Brazil, their productivity is around 30 quintal per hectare. Why not we are working in a systematically way? And everybody knows, recently, day before yesterday, Dr. Ratan Lal ji, who has been awarded a World Food Award, and what he mentioned purposely, he said that our soil, and importantly, I would like to urge to all, don't take it otherwise. Young scientists, kindly concentrate. We have got 6 important parameter or element to which we are supposed to work. First is the soil. Everybody is saying that our organic carbon content is less than that of a 0.3. What to talk about? China is still maintaining 0.7 and 0.8. Same thing has been narrated by Honorable Dr. Ratan Lal ji. Same thing is true with as far as the organic or microorganism is concerned. It should be around 3%. Where what is our status? It is hardly 1%. So let us see what you can do as far as the soil is concerned. Let us see what is water availability. Surprisingly, in a country like where there is a scarcity of water, and we people are still working on a crop like rice and wheat. And if you see in a wheat, as far as the water requirement for rice, it is 120 centimeter of water column per hectare wise. And what we are getting, 2.4 ton on an average. And if I will pay only 1 paisa for a 1 liter for a water requirement, as far as the rice is concerned, I will have to spend more than that of 1,20,000 rupees only for irrigation purpose for a 1 hectare of land, especially for rice. Same thing is true with the wheat. In our case in Rajasthan, we are giving 6 to 7 irrigation. And as a result of this, our water requirement is around 75 centimeter water column. For some area, it may be 60 centimeter. But even if again 1 paisa for 1 liter, so 75,000 rupees we are spending for the purpose of your water irrigation for a wheat. So likewise, we will have to see that what we are supposed to do for soil, seed, water, fertilizers, even for mechanization. I am sorry to say, as far as the mechanization or power are available at a farmer's level, it is hardly of 2.1 kilowatt per hectare. But to talk about how you can compete with the Chinese are using more than that of a 40 kilowatt per hectare. As far as your USA people are concerned, they are consuming more than that of 120 kilowatt per hectare. And our consumption is hardly of 2.1 kilowatt per hectare. Even still, our dream is not so high. And if you remember our honorable president, former president, Sri Abdul Kalam Sahab, once he said, keeping your vision at a low level is also a crime. In case if we are deciding that our power requirement should enhance from 2.1 kilowatt per hectare to 3 kilowatt per hectare, I am sorry to say we will not do any excellent work as far as our enhancement of productivity is concerned. We are supposed to do something extra. So my request is that everybody should be responsible as far as the increasing a production, productivity and profitability is concerned. As far as the quality production, you must be knowing, in 1947, our chemical fertilizers and insecticide and pesticide use was hardly of 0.5 kg per hectare. And whereas in case, if you see last year, we have crossed more than that of 132 kg per hectare. If you combine the whole fertilizers, chemical fertilizers, we use it. So now question arises that what type of a quality we are maintaining and how we are doing. As far as the remuneration is concerned, not a single person, not any youngster is coming forward towards agriculture. And yesterday, one of the deputy CM of Delhi, he made a different type of comment. He said that agriculture education should be diverted in a different way so that we should produce a more skilled farmer rather than a skilled clerk who can work in a dairy industries or any other good places. He is also true in one sense, because we are not justifying as far as the thing is concerned. Some of our expert has mentioned, and it is required, integrated farming system. Very important thing is a integrated farming system is a need of our. Second is a food safety. Third is a good agriculture practices. Fourth is a agriculture processing and value addition. Agriculture marketing. Let us see how we can justify on this issue. And sustainability is a big question. This is true. And we are supposed to work a climate resilient agriculture. But to working for a very specific purpose, that is perhaps is not required. And you just see the condition of Rajasthan. Other day, I was discussing with a very senior colleagues in our Rajasthan secretariat. He said that why not we can have our productivity equivalent to Punjab and Haryana. There is a big question, because what is happening? We have got a 61% area under arid, 16% semi-arid, 77% has gone. What to do and what not to do. So that's why we are supposed to have some specific one. And as far as the SMART definition is concerned, S means is specific, M means a measurable, and A means a attainable, R means a realistic. All scientists kindly do some activity which is realistic in nature, and T means a time bound. We are not supposed to prolong the things in a different way. It is true, with the help of a mechanization, we can enhance our productivity to the extent of 25%. It is true, we can have a controlled, and nowadays it is not an era of a forced entrepreneurship, but this is an era of forced labor as well. I tell you, there will be a big difficulty. I also belongs to a village. Now situation is that earlier there was no youngsters available in our village. Nowadays all youngsters are moving here and there, and whenever they came to know that I am there in the village, everybody coming and forward and asking me that kindly provide me the job. Now question arises how we can motivate these all youngsters in our agriculture, how we can retain in agriculture operation, and how we can really do a justice as far as the, so there are a lot of things is there. But my last request is there, I won't take much more of the time because at 4 o'clock my some other meeting was scheduled, and I have taken a liberty from Madam Ratna that they kindly give me time so that I can brief some of my internal view. And with folded hand, I would like to urge to all scientists, kindly do justice as far the planning of research project is concerned. This planning should be purposefully. There should not be here and there and movement from this place that a Chinese is doing this and USA is doing this and this is good opportunity. Our purpose is well defined, that how we can enhance our productivity. Second thing is that we are supposed to prepare ourselves as per what we have decided. Whatever you have planned, accordingly the things should be available. I remember last year there was a big problem of availability of soybean seed for Rajasthan, and we were 100% dependent on MP. And we have tried our best. I have also discussed with the Honorable Vice Chancellor of that university. To a certain extent, we could manage. But thing is that how we can fulfill the requirement of all villagers of this, and how a right type of integration can take place. So that's why preparation as per of the planning is also required. And once preparation is over, then we are supposed to proceed. This is not in hurry, we can proceed on each and every activity. Everybody is saying it is a symbolic. Nowadays, it is very symbolic. And everybody can speak. We all are scientists, kindly realize it, because I have seen many times anybody is coming on the platform and giving something. So whatever research oriented or result oriented research project which you are interested to take, my appeal is that whatever things you are adopting, it should have a direct bearing, and how you can federate farmer into the business group, how you can attract the youngsters in agriculture. These are some of the R&D we are supposed to take, and a collective action is required, and we are supposed to converge each and every technology which is already available. We need not to renew it. We need not to research again, because a lot of things are available. Only thing is that we will have to refine and reform and fine tune the structure in such a way so that everybody will come forward. I won't take much more of the time, but I am really happy to see that a lot of my good colleagues have attached with this webinar, and they have given a very good information as well. And definitely youngsters will be benefited out of this one. And at the end, I would like to personally extend my sincere thanks to Ratna Madam and all other organizers, those who have given me this opportunity. And I wish that we will be having some substance in our research activity. We should have some integrated approach rather than working in a isolated manner in 1 and 2 subjects. And until or unless we will have an integrated approach and some empowerment scheme, then only the agriculture in this country will flourish. Otherwise, we all will be again meet sometime, and then we will say and we will blame each and other one. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for giving me this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging and guiding words to the participants of NTC 2020. Now I request Majid sir to display the certificate so that our chief guest can say that it is handed over to the participant.
Is it visible, ma'am?
No, it is not visible.
Just a second, I'll show.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead, ma'am.
I request Chief Guest Sir, Dr. Deshbir Singh Sir, to just read the name of the participant and say that it is handed over to him, so that we can send it him by the post. Sir, are you able to see the name? Dr. Bilal Ahmed Ganai, Veterinary Assistant Surgeon, Animal Husbandry Department, Jammu and Kashmir.
Shall I move next? Ma'am?
Yeah.
Shall I move to the next one?
Next one.
Dr. Sanjay.
Dr. Hoval Sanjay Digambar, PhD scholar, Animal Nutrition, ICAR, National Dairy Research Institute, Karnal, Haryana. Sir, just say handed over. It's okay, sir. Next.
Dr. Shabir.
Dr. Shabir Ahmad Lone, Veterinary Assistant Surgeon, Animal Husbandry Department, Jammu and Kashmir. Next. Mr. Mir Shabir Ahmad, Assistant Professor cum Junior Scientist, Division of AGB, FVSC, and Animal Husbandry, Suhana, Scott, Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir. Okay. Hemant Kumar P, Assistant Professor, Floriculture and Landscape Architecture, College of Horticulture, Hiripur, University of Agriculture and Horticulture Sciences, Shimoga, Karnataka.
That's it, ma'am. All the 5 are shown.
Okay, thank you very much. And now for the vote of thanks, I invite Dr. Dinesh Lokhande sir to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you.
It is my fortune and honor to present the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizers for this valedictory function of 21 days training program. We sincerely put our gratitude on record to our chief guest of the program, Honorable Desbir Singh, Sir, Director, ICAR, Central Institute of Temperate Horticulture, Srinagar. Sir, your information was very much good, and we will take, and I assure you, sir, that all these participants will definitely use and they will apply these things for their careers. Thank you, sir, for gracing the occasion. We also sincerely put our gratitude on record to the president of today's program, Dr. N.S. Rathore, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Maharana Pratap University of Agriculture and Technology, Udaipur, Rajasthan, and the former DDG Education ICAR. Sir, your suggestions are very good. We will definitely improve ourselves with your suggestions. Thank you, sir, for gracing the occasion. We also sincerely put our gratitude on record to the special guest, Dr. D.K. Yadav, sir, ADG SEED ICAR, New Delhi, for your valuable information and guidance to the all the participants. Thank you, sir, for gracing the occasion. We also sincerely put our gratitude on record to the guest of honor, Dr. Bakshiram Yadav, sir, Director, ICAR Sugarcane Breeding Institute, Coimbatore. Thank you, sir, for gracing the occasion. We also want to thank our guest of honor for today's function, Professor M.P. Thakur, sir, Director of Instruction and Controller of Examination, Indira Gandhi Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, Raipur. Thank you very much, sir, for your contribution, and we have recorded all the information you have given, and definitely our participants will use that thing and will be helpful for their career. Thank you, sir, for gracing the occasion. I also want to thank Dr. Chhatrapal Singh, the president, who has not attended for this function. We also want to thank to all our great, knowledgeable and experienced speakers and resourceful persons for their valuable and encouraging guidance. Sir, the lecturers were the content were very fantastic, and the participant who joined once was not leaving the lecture in spite of it was from the different subject, because it was very informative. We want thank you, sir, for your valuable time dedicated for this training. We assure you, all respected sirs, the speakers, that the participants will definitely use your guidance for their career. Thank you, sir. We also want to thank Dr. Sushil Dhanavate, the hypotherapist and a life coach, for his wonderful lecture and a live exercise. Sir, our participants performed the live exercise for relieving of the tension. Thank you very much, sir. We also want to thank Dr. Ratna Nishan Madam, Professor and Dean, College of Agriculture and Research Station, Narayanpur Indira Gandhi Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, Raipur, Chhattisgarh, and the dashing organizing director of this training for her excellent management and guidance during the course of training program. Thank you very much, madam. We also want to thank Dr. R.A. Shah, training coordinator, NADCL, and organizer of this training for excellent organization of this training program. We also want to thank our technical team. Sir, I want Majid sir to please come on the screen because the participants want to see you, sir. So please come on screen. I want to thank Hamida Khanam Madam, who is the co-founder and CEO of Al-Nazha Digital Design and Solution, and Masjid Nasar sir. Sir, please come on screen, who is co-founder and CTO of Al-Nazha Digital Design and Solution. Sir, you both have done, and your team. Yes, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. The participants want to see your face. You have excellently controlled. And not only that, sir. Sir, we are all scientists. We are not expert in computer or software. We are a scientist. If you'll say any topic to talk scientifically, we will master. But we are handicapped. And it is because of you and your team and Hamida madam, this function or this training was successful. So thank you very much, sir, from all our organizers and also from participants. If you'll go through the message, all the message are giving blessings to you, sir. So thank you very much, sir, and we will definitely organize such type of program and will involve you and give you trouble. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So thank you very much, sir. We sincerely thanks to National Agriculture Development Cooperative Limited, NADCL, and Agro Environmental Developmental Society, as well as our organizing committee member, Dr. Girish Yadav, course director, Dr. Ved Prakash Yadav, our guidance, our enthusiastic person and active member, Dr. Ram Prasad Kandhare, Dr. D.R. Manjunatha, and Mrs. Sheetal Yadav. We all have done a very hard work. So thank you very much, managing committee, for supporting and giving best of you for this function. Thank you very much. We also want to thank all the enthusiasts and overwhelming participants. There were questions available before ending the lectures. The questions were available for the speaker. So this is only because they have listened each and every lecture by their heart, and that is why the questions they are able to ask the question. So thank you very much, all the participants. Because of you only and your encouragement, this function becomes successful. I want to thank Dr. Ajit Williams, scientist, forestry, BTC, College of Agriculture and Research Section, IGKV, Bilaspur, and Dr. Sanjay Hoval, PhD scholar, NDRI, Colonel, for their comments as a participant. Encouraging comments, sir, you have given, and this has given us more energy, and definitely we will do such type of training with the better things. I know connectivity was a problem, but that was not in our hand. But definitely we'll improve and we'll give you the best. Okay? Learning is our aim. So we want that our participants should learn maximum. You should extract everything from the speakers and all that. Thank you very much. Last but not least, We thank to all who directly or indirectly helped to make this training a great success. Thank you to all of you. Thank you very much. Now I am giving mic to Madam. Madam, please.
Madam, may I say something? Madam Ratna. Hello. Hello.
Please.
Hello.
You, sir, continue.
Madam, I have the researchable issues I have already mailed to NADCL. So kindly circulate.
आपकी आवाज आ रही है.
That will publish in the compendium, sir.
So I have already communicated. That is why it was just to inform you.
Yo, thank you, sir.
Thanks so much. Thanks to all.
Thank you.
Ma'am, can I say a few words?
Yeah, sure. You also say something.
It was a learning curve for all of us, and we all have enriched our personalities with all this. In few words, I would like to say thank you to all the participants who see me. I would say है मुझसे बेहतर मेरा जिक्र जो उनकी महफिल में है. Anyways, in the words of Steve Jobs, I would want to say that technology is appreciable when it is invisible. So as a technologist, as a technocrat, also being an assistant professor for more than 6 years, I would want to say this to you all: the technology is in the service of humanity. That is my objective and the objective of technology. Thank you all. It was nice being in participation and in controlling and managing capacity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I would like to say a few words for the participants that they can contact me anytime if they have got any problem regarding the certificate or anything. And I would like to say a few words for them that वो तड़प जाए तो इशारा कुछ ऐसा देना, उनको खत लिखना तो हवाला मेरा भी देना, इस कयामत से कि इन शख्स को भी है आंखें, ऐ खुदा इन्हें ख्वाब देना तो सुनहरा देना. Dhanyawad. Thank you. And we take leave, and NTC 2020 is closed down. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, all the guests. Thank you very much.